Hello and welcome back to Mount Borealis Zoo. Look at that train just cresting over the mountain in the background there. That is so cool. It does look a little bit, I don't know how I feel about all the supports, but definitely cool. Maybe we'll have to give a ride on that train sometime. It's not a super long one, but it is kind of cute. Anyway, I figured, well, today, first of all, let's go into what we're going to be doing today. So today we are going to be finishing up the palace area over here. So essentially, if you saw last episode, we built this giant palace. I did a little bit of the landscaping around it, but it definitely needs a bit more filling in. And we also need to spruce up the interior a little bit. It's a little bit boring in here. Maybe add some more shops and that sort of thing. And lighting. So I need to make sure this whole place is lit up at night. And to be honest with you, I think I also need to do all of these habitats, all the way back to the macaque habitat. I don't think is lit up at night. So I might do these ones off camera just because we've kind of already done them, but I'll show lighting up this whole building. I think it'll look kind of cool. And then after we do an episode where you see me doing lighting on camera, you can let me know if you like watching that in the speed builds or if you'd rather I just do it off camera. I'm totally okay with either way, but yeah, that is kind of the idea. Oh, and the habitat, of course. So we are going to do the habitat for this area today as well. And I'm pretty sure it's going to end up being one habitat. So at first I was kind of hoping I could squeeze two in here, like one on either side. I just really don't think this is enough space for two habitats. I don't know, it would be such a small habitat. Like, it would be significantly smaller than this one. If it was this whole space, it would be much more similar to the size of these habitats. So I think I'm going to stick with that. I think I'm going to do like a cool tunnel going through the mountain that gets them to either side rather than like pushing it back or whatever, so they could get through here. So I'll have some shelter in the tunnel and that sort of thing. And I'm thinking we're going to do the Eurasian Lynx. I was torn between the Lynx and the snow leopard, but the Lynx is a newer animal and they're almost, maybe they're not more tame, but they feel like they might be more of something that like somebody who owned this palace would have as like a pet or like kind of like kept animal in their courtyard, rather than the snow leopard. So we'll put the snow leopard somewhere else for sure. So I think, it obviously will fit in really well with this whole zoo. But for now, we'll stick with the Lynx in this palace area. And yeah, I think that'll be good. Unfortunately, with the train going through here, I just don't think it makes sense to put another habitat on this side. It'll just be... I've tried to work with habitats that like go inside of train areas and like around them before, and it just gets really complicated. We would have to do something like the train itself would have to be blocked off, I think. And then they would need like a bridge to go over the train in order to get to the edges where the keeper would go. I guess that's not the worst idea. Now I'm starting to doubt what I wanted to do. You know what? I might play around with that idea a little bit, and then maybe we can throw them both in here. It's just going to be tricky getting the train, so that the train can go through here and the animals don't. You know what? I'll think about it. I'll think about it while we're doing everything else. Maybe we'll end up with two animals in this episode. You probably know because there would be either one or two in the thumbnail. But we'll see how that ends up. But yeah, I also figured maybe, oh boy, I was going to say we'll check out some of our newer animals and how they're doing, but apparently it's these animals over here that are having issues. Yes, another baby grew up. Perfect. Just send them all to the trade center and do animal management later. This is annoying too. I'm pretty sure this is a bug. Or if it's not a bug and it's something else, let me know. But every once in a while, these speakers will come up and tell me that they're overlapping. But it's not all the time, so I don't know what the problem is there. But this one, I already brought it down a size because it was telling me that it was overlapping. It's obviously not overlapping, but oh well, okay. Anyway, what I was going to say is I thought maybe we would check out our last couple of animals first and see how they're doing. I don't think too much has happened just because I haven't played a ton off camera, but I figured it'd be worth checking out. So it looks like we never named these guys properly, but our first three here must have been Ice, Metal, and Amka. So let's take a look. Yeah, Ice is our good gold star male. Fox over here. I think these guys are so cute. I'm so not over it. And then, yeah, we have 2 females. So it looked like we got a silver star female and who's this other one? Amka. Oh, she doesn't have any stars. Oh, okay. Her longevity was just down a little bit. That's not too bad. But it does look like we got a bunch of babies out of this. So let's take a look. Ooh, it looks like we've got one who's darker. That's interesting. Where did that come from? Is that like the melanistic, or is that just, let's see, where do you see, oh, blue morph. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, let's take a little closer look at her. Oh, that's so fun. I don't know if I've ever really had, or at least ever really noticed, like a mutation like that in one of my animals in the zoo. Usually I'll just like buy the albinistic or melanistic version of them as a parent, but look at him, or her, I guess. This is a she. She's so cute. I don't know how well she would do in the wild, in the snow, being so dark. I guess she would blend in with the rocks and stuff, but look at that, very cute. Well, I'll definitely have to keep her. Her genetics are okay, but I don't know, still pretty cool. She's got the morph, blue morph. That's pretty fun. And then who else do we have here? Just a few other cubs. Yeah, I don't know if they were all from the same litter. Oh, we actually, I missed Scylla. Okay, so I had 2 males to begin with, I guess. I totally missed that. Let's just put a star by him as well. And yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. I don't know, why hasn't he made a mate yet, though? That's interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, do these guys have mates? So Amka is bonded with ice, and then what about the other female? Metal. Oh, okay, so they haven't had, oh, okay, beta animal, I see. All right, so that makes sense then. There's just no other females that can bond with him. That's okay. So they must all be from the same litter then, all the cubs that we have so far. That's fun. Oh, these guys are so cute. Let's go and take a look at one of the other ones. We only got female cubs, though. That's cool. Unless Scylla was a cub. Maybe we should double check that. Packmates. Parents. Okay, yeah. Unknown mother, unknown father. All right. Well, that solves that mystery. I just didn't scroll up far enough. So let's check out the red pandas. All right, so we got 2 baby red pandas because we only started with 2 adult red pandas, it looks like. Unless, of course, I'm just not scrolling, but I'm pretty sure this is what we're seeing here. I always like to put the stars beside the names of the parents just because at some point the babies will be older, and then I don't think this dial works very well, and it can be for some animals hard to distinguish between them if they end up getting kind of close in age. So let's take a look at our babies. I don't know if we might have already seen these babies actually, but so cute. I love the red pandas too. This is like this whole area over here with the foxes and the pandas, just absolutely adorable. Is he stuck? There we go. Very fun. So we've got 1 bronze. So he's got really good stats though. And then what about the female that we got? Oh no, they were both males. Okay. Oh, he's a gold male. Very fun. All right, so we're obviously going to keep this one for breeding next time, but yeah, very cute. They don't have so much differentiation in their coats. It looks like maybe slightly different, but yeah, not too much. God, even the adults of these guys, look at them jump in the background. So fun. All right, well, anyway, why don't we get started on these habitats? So let's just jump right into the speed build now. And here we go again. So yeah, I did end up putting into 2 habitats, which you already knew that. I just kind of went on to the intro, acting like I wasn't going to put 2 in, but indeed we got 2 in. So we are starting here with the more difficult of the 2, I would say, trying to work around this track, but really it wasn't too bad. I remembered like kind of trying to do some of this stuff before in the last zoo, because I had that like cheetah habitat that was sort of meant to be like in the middle of the train that went around, or I guess it was more like it's one of those safari car ones. But this was a lot easier. So or maybe I just learned better and I know now like what I need to do to make this successful. But yeah, no issues. It all worked out really well. So essentially what I ended up doing here was taking the ice wall pieces and these cool new one-way glass panels, which I don't think I've used them yet. But I thought it was really neat. Yeah, I guess this is why they put them into the zoo, right? Is so that you could use them instead of the actual barriers, and they're still one way. So essentially, I just covered this part of the track. On the other side, I just started the habitat behind the track. At first, I was thinking it would be nice if the animals could go on the other side of the train, just because that's closer to the pathway for people to see over on the other side. But it didn't really, there wasn't enough room there. It didn't make sense. I wouldn't have been able to do a bridge properly. So it's fine. The other, like the front of this building is more just a viewing point for the other habitat, and then this habitat you have to come to the back kind of to view it properly. And you can see it, but you can see it the whole time you're on the train. So I think that's kind of cool and unique. But here I am just doing the bridge, which I always find these bridges to be easiest if I just use paths to do them. There's a lot of ways you can do these, but this way the keepers will walk across for sure, and get to both sides of the habitat. So I mean, I don't know if they really need to be honest. If we don't put like the food bowls over there and stuff, I think they can kind of like clean it without going over there technically. But this way they can go over to the other side and we don't have to worry about it so much. And I think it looks cool. I mean, it matches that that ice path. I think it's a neat path, and I like the railings on it, so it works out quite well. And of course, just a couple of staff buildings over here for this area as well. I did end up also adding in a research center, I think off camera, I can't remember now. It might be later in this video, but it's not here right now. I did end up adding a research center and a vet to this area as well, just to kind of keep that going a little bit faster as well, because we only have 2 vets so far for this whole zoo. So I figured it would be better to just add in another one with this new area, and they'll cover the polar bears behind here as well, which is what we're going to be doing next time, but we'll talk a bit more about that after the speed build is done. But yeah, just kind of expanding out this wall a bit. I think it just kind of, it's nice that it just sort of fits in really well here, and we're going to do the gondola station at the end too, that's going to be right behind there, and kind of connected into the whole thing going on over there too, so it ends up working out quite well. But yeah, this is what I was talking about at the beginning when I was saying on this side for this other habitat, the guests can walk like right up to the glass in the front here and just kind of peer right in. It did kind of mess up my cute like plant situation in the front, but I was able to keep some, like, not the hydrangeas. The hydrangeas didn't work for the animals, but we were able to keep a lot of the plants, and I think it works out fine in the end. Really not that big of a deal. But yeah, I did use the barriers for this, I think, but I used these windows again just to keep it consistent across the whole thing. And that way it is a bit more private for these animals. I don't know if they would get stressed. It kind of depends on how busy this area gets. I don't know if it might not end up getting that busy, but it's hard to say. So I figured just in case, we'll keep the stress levels down with the private glass. One-way glass? I think it's called one-way glass. I probably said that before already. And yeah, other than that, it's mostly this tunnel. So I think I'd mentioned this before building it too. I just wanted to make a tunnel into the mountain that went through, and allowed the animals in that habitat to go from one area to the other area. And it worked out quite well. I put in some bedding in there off camera too and stuff. And yeah, they have no problem going back and forth from one area to the next. So it gives them a lot of shelter. And also, I don't know, it's just kind of a unique little feature. So now it's foliage time. So this one ended up being the snow leopard habitat. I don't know why I chose which was which. It was pretty arbitrary. Either animal I think could have gone in either habitat just fine. But I decided to make the snow leopards on this side. So that is kind of what we're doing right now. So just kind of, they wanted a lot less foliage. As you can see there, their coverage, their max is like 20%. We got all the way up to basically the max. I don't know that I could have added too much more by the end of all of this. So I tried to play around a bit with the rocks and some of the more like the less dense foliage and stuff too, and nature stuff, but lots of rocks in this habitat, and a little bit more sparse, but I think that looks cool too. You get a better view of the animals that way. But yeah, I forgot about this side. We got very close to the max on the other side, and then I was like, oh, we need to add more over here. So I ended up building a little climbing structure for them. I don't actually know 100% whether or not it works. We're gonna have to check that in the real-time part after this, because now that I'm thinking about it, I never did check whether or not they could even climb this, because it's a pretty thin climbing bars going on there, but who knows, maybe the animations work and they can climb up there. But it's just a small little climbing thing for them, a little bit more enrichment, and just kind of takes up the space over here without having to go over the tree limit, I suppose. Because that's something that I always find with the habitats can be kind of tricky, right? Like, you want to fill up the space and like make it look full and enriching for them and stuff, but a lot of animals like their open space, like they don't want too many trees and stuff, so kind of makes sense. But I figured this was a good way to fill it in a little bit better as well. And yeah, I ended up moving the food over to the other side where, oh yeah, and a pond. Ponds are a great way to fill up space. If you're struggling to fill up the space in your habitats, add a pond. They take up a lot of room. But yeah, as I was saying, I thought for a second about putting the food over here to encourage them to come over, but I don't want the keeper stuff to walk all the way over there. So food's on the side with the gate, and then I've just put some enrichment items on the far side so that hopefully they'll go over there a little bit more. But on this side, for the lynx, total opposite. They wanted so much plant coverage. It is a forest on this side of the palace, but it works out quite well because they do have a little bit of extra open space on this side, just because, the other side has the tunnel that goes through to both sides. It did feel like this one had a little bit more open space, so worked out quite well. Was able to add a ton of trees and all of that, and I think it looks really good. Kind of filled in on this side. It works out quite well, and of course playing around with the rocks and all of that too. I don't really know what else to be adding to these habitats, to be honest. Maybe, I think I've mentioned this before, I don't think that habitats are my strong suit. If you have any tips or like cool things that you like to add to your habitats to make them a bit more unique, or like even creators that you really like how they do their habitats that you could suggest to me, let me know, because I think this looks okay, right? Like, I think this looks good, but it is just nature, right? Like, it's a little bit more boring than the building around it, but maybe that's the whole point, right? Like, we build really exciting things for the guests and then just make sure that the habitats are appropriate for the animal, right? Like, they would obviously want just to be in the forest. So they've got this great big kind of foresty habitat for them. I don't know. Or maybe it's boring. I know I've been told before that my habitats are a little bit boring. So if you have any tips, let me know. But I was thinking that these guys don't really have any enclosed shelter in their habitat, so I figured I would this walkway was fairly straight, and it's always easier to build underneath straight walkways, or bridges, I suppose, so I just decided to enclose this in, add a little, add some bedding inside. I make a little door and then add some bedding, and it works out quite well. Now they can wander in there and have a little bit of shelter, and it just kind of seamlessly integrates into the whole situation too. And you can even grab a quick glimpse of them in there when you drive past on the train. So hopefully that doesn't stress them out too much. But last, of course, here is going to be the enrichment items, and then we hop right into doing the interior of this building. So interiors are hard to film because I end up popping out of it all the time and yada yada, but I did want to try filming this anyway and see how it went, and I think it ended up going okay. What I wanted to do here was make the interior one inset so that I could add more shops to it, essentially, so I could add like 2 more shops on either side, was the main goal there, and it worked out pretty flawlessly. I don't think, at least not that I could see, there was nothing, it didn't give us any issues. So it just kind of made it a little bit more cramped inside, but honestly it was a pretty big space considering that there's like no guests in here. So I think it works out in the end. It was just a bit of a struggle of reconnecting all the paths and making it look good, and I ended up using like a little bit of this like grid pathing, and then I kind of wanted to use railings to show where people would line up for the stores, and just to make sure that we had the stores fully connected to the pathways and all of that. It was a lot, and then I put the benches in, and then I realized the whole point of this was to add more shops in. So I eventually do go back in and add 2 more shops. But I kind of forgot that that was the purpose at the beginning. So I also wanted to obviously decorate it a little bit more in here. I didn't want to do anything too crazy, but I was looking for a cool shop cover and I noticed these murals, which I think came with the aquatic pack. And I've never used them before, but I thought they actually looked pretty cool, just like as like a wallpaper down here. So I decided to just go with that. And the same columns that we do outside the building as well, just all the way up. I think this was the same stack essentially that I did on the exterior of the building too. So just kind of to add a little bit more depth and make it a little bit more interesting in here. It's nothing revolutionary. I didn't do, you know, super fancy stuff for the interior, but at least it's not just a big blue box or a big blue, what is this, an octagon anymore. So, I mean, it's better than nothing, right? We're doing better. We're slowly doing better. And then, yeah, I just thought these icicle trims were kind of cute. I mean, they're so high up, we're never going to actually notice them, but it wasn't too hard to do. So, you know, we'll do it here and there. And then, yeah, that's basically the interior. I was going to show the lighting. The rest of this video is kind of working on the gondolas. And I wanted to show just to show my struggle with that, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I was actually going to show a clip of me doing exterior lighting on the building here as well, because I think I talked about that in the intro as well. But there's something messed up with the lighting. I'll show it in the real-time part, what the lighting looks like on the building, and you'll have to let me know if you know what's causing it, or if it's just, I don't know, like maybe it's my settings or something. But yeah, it was really weird. Lighting's going a bit wacky, so I didn't show putting it in because it doesn't look good. But we'll take a look at that afterwards anyway. What I wanted to do first here, or the last thing that I wanted to show basically, was putting together this gondola, because it was an adventure. So I knew that I wanted, like, I don't really know what the top area is going to look like quite yet, but obviously the gondola needs to be a big circle, right? Or else it doesn't really work. And I thought at first maybe I would do two separate gondolas, like one on this side that just goes up and back to here, and then one on the other side that went up and back to there. But then I thought, I don't know, I think in this game the guests enjoy more, probably if they could get to a different location completely. So this ended up being way bigger than I had first pictured it, like going all the way around the mountain and stuff. I'm gonna have to like make it a lot faster. I'll probably bump up the speed all the way, just to make sure that this kind of works out. But gosh, these gondolas the steepness, they should be able to go way steeper, I think. I mean, I know it's not a roller coaster, but like, come on, we need to get up that mountain. I had to go all the way around because I couldn't, like, it wasn't steep enough. Or the mountain's too steep, essentially, for the gondola to work out. So that's just kind of, it ended up being this, giant loop with two stations on the top of the mountain, and then the station over at the entrance area, or like the Japan, Europe kind of Y area or T junction there, and then the new one over at the Ice Palace. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to play around with those when we can't open it yet. I tried. I wanted to see if I could open it and it would just go past those other stations, but it doesn't. We have to wait until we actually build up there, get power going up there, and everything like that to run it. But hopefully it works out well. We'll have to see. But yeah, last little thing here. I just wanted to finish up with the building around this gondola area, because everything else we'd finished quite quickly so far. This is on the shorter end of our time lapses, I would say, or our speed builds. So I just wanted to kind of finish up with that last station. Of course, got a little bit distracted trying to figure out these stations because I thought I could open it, but we're not able to do that, of course. And yeah, but the actual station itself, not that exciting. I ended up essentially just using the same castle wall, like attaching it to the castle wall. I might add a little bit more on the interior. I know guests like it when there's some good scenery to look at while they're waiting in line. And right now it's just like a big dark building. But in terms of how it like kind of melds in with the rest of the exterior here, I think it works out quite well. Essentially just goes right in with the wall. And I quite like that, I think. Finish up this area without, making it too difficult. And it works out in the end. So yeah, that is about it. Let's go take a closer look at all of this and the new animals as well. All right, so here is what it looks like now coming into the entrance. Now that it's all completed. A little dark still, actually. The sun takes forever to rise in the Arctic, apparently. But let's wander over here. So on this side, we can see this is the view into the snow leopard habitat. We also now have an education talk point here, too. So that's awesome. Hopefully, I think I assigned an educator. We'll have to double check, but it looks like everybody is looking in on this guy hanging out back there. We'll go take a closer look at them in a second. I just want to show the guest perspective here first a little bit. But yeah, that is what the habitat looks like from out here. Again, this one's a little bit more sparse, but they seem to like it that way. So, oh, look, the keeper actually came all the way over here. Maybe to fill up a toy or something, I don't know. But yeah, there's the palace, and then of course over here, didn't really change on this side, but you can see that's where the train's gonna come through, and you might be able to catch a little glimpse of a Lynx through here. They've got a couple of toys on this side, but better view is going to be through the building. So if we come into here, we can see I didn't actually do any editing on this entrance area, but it is what it is. So when you come into here though, it definitely looks a lot better in here now. So we have Pip Shot Juice, Pizza Pen, or Pizza Pen, is that what that's called? Pizza, whatever, Chief Beef, and coffee. So everybody can grab a couple of drinks, couple of things to eat, and hang out in here if they want to, or of course, like these guys are doing, continue on to this outdoor area again. So snow leopards, is there anybody over here? Nobody over here, but if they do eat, they eat right here, so it's a really good view of them eating it there. And this is the talk point for the Lynx, is on this side. And they also have lots of enrichment and stuff over here, so they'll hopefully be over here fairly often, just to like hang out. And I know their food is, I think, right there as well. Yeah, it's right there, so hopefully the guests don't complain too much about not being able to see them, but this habitat especially does have a lot of hiding points. This one as well with the cat, like the cave. I mean, we might get some complaints from the guests, but oh well, I think that's totally fine. So let's go and take a closer look. I'm pretty sure we haven't had any babies or anything yet. Yeah, they're not even pregnant. Haven't played this game at all. So let's take a look. Oh, look at him. Or wait, who was this? Yes, this is our male snow leopard. Just like nomming on the fire hose ball. That actually looks pretty funny. Wow. That is huge. He's just gonna carry that around. That's like the size of half of his body. Oh, look how cute he is, though. They're like, he's super puffy, his tail, even his body. He looks like chubby, but obviously, you know, they are probably meant to be stocky like that because they need to stand up in the winter in the cold. Wow, they're such pretty, and like, look at his giant feet, too. Such pretty animals. Where's your female companion? Let's see if I can find her. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce those names. There she is, in the dark, looming around in the cave. Can't probably see her really at all, but that's okay. So yeah, they just kind of, I mean, the inside of the cave is pretty boring. I did add, is my camera light still on? No, it's not. Okay, that's the problem. There we go, that's better. I did add like the bedding in here, but other than that, this is just like a little private area for them. I didn't decorate in here, obviously. The guests can't see it. And I don't think the snow leopards really care that much, so I think it'll be totally fine. But yeah, there's our snow leopards in their habitat. We'll have to see if they have any babies anytime soon. And what about our lynx? Oh, they're hungry, of course. Because the keeper needs to come, but the keeper will come soon. I'll urgently assign them. But there's the lynx. These are really cool animals. I think these might be one of my favorite. The lynx, such a cool cat. Look at him go. Yes, look at, and the pointy ears, or the like tips on the ears. I just think that's so cool. And they do really well. I mean, they're made for the cold too, which I think is super neat. They look, they've got kind of a similar build and stuff, it seems like, to the, similar to the snow leopard, but a little bit, like, more agile than that guy, at least. Obviously, they've got a way shorter tail. Oh, look, we're using the bridge. Oh, she's so pretty. Look at that. I'm such a cat person, too. I just love these big cats. Oh, yeah. And then we're gonna eat the meat. All right, let's get out of there. But yeah, that is pretty much it. This is the gondola station that we made. Very boring inside, very low ceilings, I realize. Yeah, might fix that up one day, but it's not an urgency. Even when I had this open, just like temporarily to see what would happen. Sorry, we had so many guests lined up in here. Like, this line was instantly full. So I think this gondola is going to be a pretty popular ride once we do get it going. So we'll just have to wait until we get that going. But I don't know about the train station. I know the other station is never that full. Is this one full? That actually is quite full. I should probably think about changing the price and stuff of this. Hey, $1? Let's change it at least to $5. I'm sure people will probably pay like 10, but we at least don't want to be paying for this. And yeah, I wonder if I could add in, now that we have the other station, I bet you I could add in more, sorry, my throat today, not great for filming apparently, but I wonder if I could add in more trains too. We'll have to see. But also, the last thing I wanted to show you was this weird lighting thing that's happening. And I don't know, I mean, maybe it's because, but like, even if I don't move the camera, right, you see how it's, I don't know, we're getting that weird blocky shadowing. Have you seen this? Like, especially even like over here on the like right hand side, like what is that? At first I was thinking like, yeah, I'm kind of like putting the lights like through these blocks onto these blocks, but it doesn't really make any sense. Like, the lights that are causing this weird flashing down here are like, yes, they're underground, but they did it even when they were above the ground. And then there's like these ones. It seems like this one is like a shadow on this guy, but there's nothing really there. So I don't know if it's just an effect from this being kind of a complicated building and having a lot of different angles and probably some overlapping pieces and stuff, or is it just like a weird visual bug? Like, maybe it won't even be here when I restart the game. I don't know. Yeah, if you've seen that before and know, like, off the top of your head how to fix it, let me know. But yeah, unfortunately, it looks like, look how cool this looks if you kind of ignore that part of it. This is kind of what I was imagining for the lighting for this place, but yeah, definitely I'm not going to be doing, like, nighttime at the zoo if this is what the lighting's going to look like. So yeah, I don't know. If you have any tips on how to fix that, let me know. But that is going to be all for today's episode. As always, let me know what you think of the new areas, the new animals, and let me know what else you want to see in the zoo as well. I am going to do, next episode is going to be the polar bears, which is going to be the last area down here before we go up the mountain, and from there we're just going to be finishing up basically what's going to happen at the top of that mountain area, and then that's going to be complete for the zoo. It's going to still be a few more episodes, but we are getting very close now, which is kind of cool and also kind of intimidating at the same time. We're finally, I don't know, it just feels like I've been doing this one for a while, even though I think it's only 9 episodes. It just, I don't know, for some reason it feels like it's been longer, but I don't know, it just feels like it's been such a long time ago that we started this area, which maybe it was. Maybe this one I ended up filming a little bit slower than others, but I don't know, just look at this place. I think it's looking really cool, and I don't know, pretty big, but like also a pretty manageable size zoo, so that's kind of what I was aiming for this time. But anyway, yeah, as always, give me your comments down below. I read every single one, I'll reply. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, or even if you want to see anything, like me do anything else in this game, or even other games. I know I've asked for kind of other game suggestions like before. Eventually, Planet Zoo is probably going to be a little bit, it's getting old now, so I know when Prehistoric Kingdom comes out, I'm going to be doing a series on that game. But if there's anything else that you're thinking, it's kind of tough for me to do multiple series at a time, but just to kind of get the gears going a bit, and some other games that I should check out that might fit onto this channel in the future would be very helpful for me as well. So if you have any other games you love and love to watch, let me know, and I will talk to you in the next one.